Well, I can hardly believe it, but here it is on December 1st and my box of my garland is coming out. So I've got all my things there. Here's my garland. I've woken up to a really dreary day. I'll just show you. Look at that, it's grey, it's wet, and I'm going out this morning. But first, I need to hang up my Advent garland. So here goes. There is usually a right and a wrong side to it, so hopefully I've got it the right way round. Sometimes the weight of it brings it off the drawing pin before I get it all hung up. But we'll see. This end of it just goes above the door. I don't need the ladders for this bit. I can't actually believe it's December 1st already. It doesn't seem 5 minutes since I was filming this last year for you. That's it. Oops. Okay, now I just need to get the ladders up to the middle to get the middle right up. So, and then I can put my first number on. I'll turn you around again. You've got to see the full effect of it putting up. This is the exciting bit of the Advent garland, is it going up for the first time on the year. Being good. It's actually a hook waiting, hooray. So it's up. Number next, and my little whatever I choose from the little box. I'm going to use my new numbers this year, which these have not been up before. I made these when I did the pattern for the crochet Advent garland. I'm going to put that one up somewhere else because it doesn't actually stretch right across my room, and plus my original one is what I've been using for like, I don't know, 30 years. So I'm going to put the new numbers up though. I have to get number 1, which is here, and I choose something out of my box. And I think for today I'm going to go for the cozy home. That's just a knitted thing. So that's what I'm putting up today. So number 1, and I'm back with the ladders at the other side. Well, it's now officially start of Advent. It's the 1st of December and the cosy house is going up as well. Well, I've got my cup of tea. It's still quite early, but the Advent garland's definitely started. And I'm actually off to a Christmas market today. Now, I've asked whether I could film, but I haven't had a reply. So if I do manage to get a bit of footage while I'm there, I'll definitely put that in probably tomorrow. But if I don't, there'll be something else instead. So I hope you're going to enjoy the video that I'm going to cut you into. I made these the other day and it's a lovely recipe, a lovely local recipe. And the Advent diary this year will be just a mix of all different things. There's going to be some makes and just some chats and walks, and I think just it's more of the same of what I did last year really, but everyone seemed to like it, so that's what I'm going to do. And I've got a bit of exciting news to tell you, that I actually have booked my tickets for Paris. So I'm going to be visiting with Naomi and her partner, oh crikey, next week. And I'm going on the 12th of December. I'll just have a cup of tea. I'm going next Thursday on the 12th of December. And I'm staying for nearly a week. How on earth I'm going to be fitting all that in? But I will. And I've sort of had a bit of an idea for what I'm going to do when I'm there, because I can film things, and I'm going to see if I can do shorts, which I've never done one before. So I'm not quite sure, but I want to have my a PC, I don't have a laptop or anything like that with all the programs on that I use when I'm doing the videos like this. This will be going onto the computer now, and I'll edit it into my little video of the recipe, and then I can publish it. And I don't know how to do that just by my phone, but I'll be experimenting. So if I can do some shorts of when I'm in Paris, then you'll find them coming up as well. So have a watch out for them, but I will let you know if I manage to do any. We'll just see. But I'm looking forward to going to Paris and staying with Naomi and Javi for a few days. So it's like a bit of an extra long weekend. So Thursday to Tuesday. And when I come back, it'll be nearly Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that. But I hope you enjoy the recipe that I'm leaving you with now. And happy 1st of December, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely time too. So I'm starting the Advent Diary with a recipe. And it's a very traditional northeastern recipe. And I like to do some traditional stuff, and so today I'm going to show you how to make Singing Hinnies, and it's a very northeastern sort of well, it's a griddle scone. So I'm going to be using my griddle on the hob of the gas, and I've got all my ingredients and I'm going to tell you how to do it. The ingredients are plain flour. I've got 8 ounces in my bowl already. I've got 2 ounces of butter and 2 ounces of vegetable shortening, which is like a vegetable equivalent of lard, but originally they would be made with lard, and I used to make them with lard myself. I'm going to use a heaped teaspoon of baking powder. I'll put that in with my flour now. So just sort of a rounded heaped teaspoon. That's gone in there. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt. I'll just put the pinch of salt in with my flour. And the only sweetness that's there is some currants. So it's 3 ounces of currants. And there's no sugar in them at all. So currants sweetness. And then there's 3 fluid ounces of milk. That is all of the ingredients. So I'm going to get my pinny on, and I'm going to start and mix these together. So I'm going to mix it all just with a knife. So I'll mix that baking powder and salt in, and then really it's rub in the butter, and I use mine cold from the fridge and I grate it because it's so quick. So all I'm going to do is dip my butter into the flour and then use my grater, and because it's come directly from the fridge, this is a really quick way of sort of rubbing things in, fat into flour, because the main thing with scones or griddle cakes like these is to keep the mixture cool all the time. And I'm going to do the same with this vegetable shortening as well. And that is it. I'm done. And I'm going to add the milk to bring it together to a dough. Just add a bit of a time. You might not need all of it, but I think maybe I usually do. As I say, handle it the least you need to. The rest of my milk's going in. Oh, I've forgotten my currants. Got my currants in. So they're called Singing Hinnies. Hinny's sort of like, hello Hinny, it's sort of like somebody would say, hello love, or how are you doing pet? It's sort of just like a northeastern sort of word for darling, or, you know, how are you doing honey, something like that. And the singing bit, I think, comes from the fact that they're supposed to, while they're on the griddle, they're supposed to sort of sizzle and sing. And so that's why they're called Singing Hinnies. I'm just bringing this mixture together. It's just about there. What I'm going to do is flour my board here and turn it out. You can see it's still crumbly. And I'll just bring it together as quick as I can without kneading it too much. These are really lovely. Traditionally, you'd have them warm off the griddle. When I used to make them when the children were little, they used to be waiting for them coming off the pan, coming off the griddle, straight onto their plates. Sometimes split, always with extra butter on top of them, melting straight into the hot scone. And you can split them if you get them high enough, but actually they're not really supposed to rise that much. In our house they always were just cut into triangles, so that's what I'm going to do. I've got my rolling pin. I don't need any extra flour, I don't think. Roll it out. This rolling pin, it's got a history, because when I got engaged to be married, it was still, like, I suppose it was a bit old-fashioned, but my mum and my grandma were saying, oh, you have to save for your bottom drawer. So that was like getting things for, you know, when you got married and you put your house together and what have you. And so, like, being a fanciful teenager that I was, I just thought, oh, that's lovely, I'm going to save for my bottom drawer. So we got engaged, and there was a shop in Sunderland. It's not there now, it was called Timothy White's, and it was sort of shop that it was a chemist, but it also had sort of kitchenwares and things like that. You could go and buy all sorts of, you know, measuring jugs and rolling pins and things. And so that's what I bought. My very first weekend after I got engaged, I went down into Sunderland, went into Timothy White's, and didn't have that much money. And I thought, what can I buy for my bottom drawer? And I saw this rolling pin, and I loved it because it had ball bearings in it and it rolled round. And it's still going. Michael repaired it when the ball bearings went inside, but since then it's worked perfectly. Right, I've got my mixture all nice and rolled out. I'm going to just use my butter knife, just a flat bladed knife. I'm going to cut them into squares and then triangles, because that's what Mum always did, and it's easier than dirtying a scone cutter. So I'm going to end up with things like that. I think the triangles was just to use all of the mixture and not have to re-roll it again. I think that's the point. You do not want to have to be gathering the mixture up, re-rolling it. If you cut in a round, every time you gather those bits up and re-roll them, you're toughening the mixture. So I think that's why Mum didn't do that. So I now have them all cut out, and I'm going to get the camera over to my cooker and set the griddle up. And just get it to sort of a medium heat, because I need my griddle to heat up. Put that over. You could just do this with a flat-bottomed frying pan, or if you've got a round griddle or something like that. But this works for me. And I'm going to use some of my my vegetable shortening to just grease my griddle. I'm going to put my first ones on. There's no sizzle yet, so that probably means my griddle's not quite hot enough. Once it's hot, you can turn it down, but you sort of, those first ones, it's just a little bit of a practice. And although there's no sugar in these, traditionally you would sprinkle them with caster sugar while they were hot, and so I'll definitely be doing that. I'm going to move them up, see if I can get all of them on. Yeah, not quite. There's 2 more to fit on. I'll just have to wait till something gets cooked. Just going to put a little piece of shortening in there. Just run it onto the hot griddle. Time to turn over, I think. Still a bit soft, but they're starting to brown. Bit longer. I think there's less and less people making things like this. You don't even see them in the bakers anymore. At least I don't, where I live, and I don't know whether they'll be maybe up in Northumberland or maybe a traditional baker somewhere. But I definitely don't see them. They do rise a bit, but not much. They're not like a scone. Always adjusting the heat just perfect. That was a good sizzle. There they go. Do need to keep them going with that little bit of shortening. Butter definitely wouldn't work here. You'd need to use a bit of vegetable oil or the bit of shortening, or lard if you're wanting to use that. They're looking good. Just sort of always monitoring them. You can't leave them, but they really do take minutes. Oh, I think the first ones are about done. I think that looks done to me. Just split it and make sure. Yep, they're cooked. Oh, it's a good colour. It's exactly right. Turn these ones now. Done. Done. One. A little bit left over. Now I can just sprinkle the top with a bit of caster sugar. And if you sprinkle it while it's hot, it sort of sticks to them better. That's just a finishing touch. So my Singing Hinnies are done. I've got a lovely plate of them here. You can see what they look like. I'm going to have one. Got to have a little bit of butter on it. I'm having them while they're hot. I have my little practice one. This little tiny one here. I'm not going to split it, but you can do. They split really nicely. But it's only a little one, this one, so. I haven't had one for a while because it's been ages since I've made any. They're just lovely. They have a crispy sort of an outside, a soft in the middle. And for me, the currants are non-negotiable. I don't think you can use any other fruit and expect it to taste like a Singing Hinny. They're really lovely. So, I'm sending the Singing Hinny out into the world by the medium of my Advent diary. So if you fancy having a go, have a go. But use currants. Well, I suppose you could use anything. But for me, yeah, currants are nothing. And they're super lovely. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you're going to enjoy this Advent Diary series. It's going to be all sorts of different things. I've got quite a few recipes coming because I do cook a lot over Christmas. But there'll be some sewing and some walking. And I'm actually supposed to be fitting in, decorating this kitchen. It'll be a miracle. And possibility of going to Paris too. I just have to see how it goes. But for day one, you've got Singing Hinnies, and I'm pleased, and I'm going to eat another one, which is really bad. But they're too nice, and I don't make them that often. Press me the like button, subscribe if you want to see the rest of my Advent diaries, and maybe have a go at making a Singing Hinny. Bye everyone, see you tomorrow.